Hi, welcome to the Powerful Marketing Tips podcast. I am Mari-Liis, your host. Today we have a special podcast as we tackle an important question that we received from Mai-Liis, one of our community members. How to expand to international customers after building a local brand. So let's dive in and discuss the opportunities, marketing and sales obstacles, and much more. By the way, if you have a marketing challenge or question or confession that you would like us to cover in a future episode, then make sure to submit it. You can find the submission link, of course, from the show notes. But okay, let's get started. Welcome, Mai-Liis. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. So please share with us briefly, what is that you do today?
I have, let's say, lifestyle brand. I produce natural skincare. I like to call it skin food because it's fully natural, botanical herbs, oils and waxes. And it's combined with face yoga, facial training. And all together, it means I'm totally promoting natural beauty and how to keep it until 100 years old.
Wow. That sounds very interesting. I'd like to stay, very beautiful until I'm 100 years old. But I know that you have built quite a strong brand here in Estonia. And for those listeners who don't know what Estonia is or where it is maybe, Estonia is a small, tiny little country next to Finland, up there in Northern Europe somewhere. And Estonians are known to be very good with IT, and also we Estonians are founders of the Skype, so maybe not everyone knows that. But I'd like to know, what is the unique value or service that makes your brand stand out in the local market, especially right now in Estonia?
I also like to call it as a smart person brand, because if you know what you're looking for, even in the food industry, for example, you like everything that is natural, eco, like clean, then you pick the same things in cosmetics and in skincare. People often think that skincare has to be complicated. We have to have different scrubs for different areas of the body, different creams, they have to smell like caramel. And if we then ask, okay, where do you get caramel smell naturally? Nobody knows, because it's impossible. It's added smell, basically it's added smell that is not good for you. And we also speak a lot that Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are like rising health issues, and nobody knows why. So we can say that part of it can be different smells that you have in candles, in cosmetics, in whatever. So that's why I always say the customer who comes to MaiWistik always is a bit more knowledgeable, likes to ask questions. Why? How can I be better? How can I support my body better? Less toxins, everything related to that.
So you must be mature to really ask those questions.
Yes, of course. And you also have to understand that although we live in this fast-paced world with all this social media, we post there something today and the results already tomorrow, and everybody thinks it goes with all the topics the same way. But if we go into the botanical herbs or holistic medicine even, it takes time. It can take 1 month, it can take 6 months. You just have to be patient and see how it works, because even if we think about skincare, it takes 1 month for all your layers to produce new cells. So to see if the product actually works or is good for you, it needs time.
So what makes MaiWistik unique is really being natural and by offering very natural products. But do you think they are popular, at least in Estonia for now? Or do you see people are still, after those caramel?
I would really love to tell you, yes, everybody wants natural products. But no, even today, I still face the questions like, why is our body oil smelling this way? We use hemp seed oil, which has this specific smell. But the thing is that all the products that we do, we use first press oils, which means they are not processed. But usually what happens in cosmetics field is that most of the companies like to use processed oils simply because then you don't have the natural smell. But how do we process these oils? is, of course, with heat, most of the good things go away. But how they market is still the same. Let's say we have almond oil. It has all these kind of benefits, and the customer purchases it because the label says it's good for this and that. But it's less strong than the first press oil. So that's why you have to try to teach your body with all these natural smells because they are less toxic. And also, if you don't have these different smells, you save your nervous system as well. We can go as deep as anxiety and depression as well, but this is not the topic today. But this is often the part that people don't think. They just purchase something that is shiny, pink, smells good, and then they think it's good for them. But then they realize some weird rashes and etc. So it's really the part when the customer has to think why I use something. And if something is unclear, ask the producer which kind of components do you use.
So I hear your first marketing challenge, or maybe it's not first, but one of them is the smelling part and how to really make people think about that big brands are using to market their skincare products.
Yes and no, because there's a lot of people, and this is actually raising percentage that I can agree that people are going back to the nature, especially after COVID, because they are understanding that they need nature. But if we go to this education part and big brands, then it's so much cheaper to purchase ingredients that make fake or different smells than natural essential oils. So this is, I think, more business question than actually education.
I agree. I recently read about that, if you put the eco sign for your product, it already increases your sales at least for 60% or even more. So how do you see that?
I agree. It really works. But the thing is, to get that sign, it's expensive. And if you are a tiny company, then at one point you start to question it. Do you need this stamp? Or can you do it with some other way? Because in Estonia, we have clean nature. We have small herb producers where you can actually purchase the materials we make these products from. So at one point, it's just like, is this again another way to do business, to give these marks out? Or is there a deeper meaning as well?
And you just mentioned Estonia, and I think using Estonia could be one of the, unique selling points even for you, because if people are starting to Google more about Estonia, they see that Estonia is covered with forests, so it's pretty natural, how we live here compared to other, countries and big cities, of course.
That's true, actually. And when I have been traveling and speaking about my brand and how much the product costs, usually people are amazed. They're like, this, let's say, Happy face cream should be like 3 times more expensive. How can you sell it with like 20 euros? And I'm always like, well, in Estonia, we have a lot of nature and producers who do like natural skincare, and they are surprised. They're like, how? Like, this is so good because they don't have it.
Okay, but let's talk about your experience with, expanding internationally your brand and products. What are your experiences so far with that?
Well, I was planning a year ago to expand to Spain, but it turned out that it's super difficult to get to any store there or pharmacy even. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe I can produce there because most of our products come from olive oil. So I found a really good place that produces special olive oil. But then there was other problems, how much it would cost and these difficulties. So that part actually stopped. That was a good idea, but way too complicated. But then my other option to expand is through Amazon and German Amazon, because it's easier to find customers if you do a good marketing plan and market research, and you can choose which kind of country you want to go in. So I basically launched in May 2024. It has been fun ride because I had no idea how the sales would go, and I tested the market with actually one other product that is meant for facial training, and this is natural chewing gum. And because I wanted something to be natural, that's always my value point. It has to be fully natural and then support the person. And the thing is that this is like a raisin from a tree. So if it's too hot, then it melts. And I ordered a few kilos in May, then sent it to the factory in Germany, sold out in the middle of August basically. And I couldn't restock this raisin because it comes from one island in Europe and the weather was too hot. Now I finally entered the order and then they told me that there was this kind of small catastrophe. Half of the basically product that they have produced for the full year is now ruined, so they don't know how much they can ship. And then I was sitting there thinking, okay, the sales started to go good, and then you have another problem, right? So no matter which country you want to expand, there's always these kind of things that you just can't be prepared. They come and you're like, this is my new obstacle. Okay, let's see how we can continue.
Oh my God. And how are things now? I mean, I'm already worried about this producer there as well.
Well, luckily yesterday I got an email that they can still ship it the full amount. I will be happy when I finally have it.
Oh my God. Well, I hope that you will have them finally, of course. But what international markets do you think or do you hold the most potential for MaiWistik and why? I just want to know why you choose Germany, for example, with Amazon.
Actually, MaiWistik is almost 5 years old. And when I started, my idea was with half a year to enter German market. So you can see, it took a bit longer. But why Germany is the simple reason that in Germany, holistic medicine and regular medicine are accepted the same way. In Estonia, it's crazy how much hate or scarcity is around herbs and using holistic medicine. And even on the country level, it's not accepted. So it's hard. I can say that my ointment is good for removing redness, but I can't say it's good for psoriasis, even though I have many customers who have got the problem fixed, right? So that's why it's hard and sometimes it's demotivating. But in Germany, it's acceptable and it's easier to get the message out. But the problem part is I'm not local. I don't speak the language. I have never learned the language. So I have to use translators and hope that it's good text, right? And also the rules are different. Like even, for example, getting the tax number, VAT number, it took 12 weeks. And they told me that it can take up to 6 months. Whereas in Estonia, it takes 24 hours maximum, basically. So again, these things that you never expect to happen.
So law is definitely a very important part. But do you also know about the local people? I mean, their preferences and so on. Have you done some research here as well?
Yeah, well, they have more people compared to Estonia because it's bigger. But then if I would go to the market with my products, there's always a question, would they prefer foreign brands to their own? Because there's crazy a lot of natural skincare in Germany. And even if we go back in time, I had to do the trademark change because of one big German natural skincare brand. They didn't want me to use some parts of the name, right? So they are not so friendly there, even on the company sides.
Okay. But I'm just thinking that I know that those big countries here in Europe are, they have this long history with the bureaucracy and they love that. So you just mentioned 12 weeks for getting this VAT number, right, for your taxes. So it's crazy. And I know it took actually longer for you to get it. So have you thought about some other countries and maybe, approach some countries that are maybe not so heavy with their bureaucracy?
I would actually love that. But I think my problem is that if I focus on something, then I want to reach it, solve the problem. So maybe if somebody listens to us and has some samples, which countries are better or more open to natural skincare, I would love to get these tips. Because the other country that is my head is either USA, right, or Japan. So I don't think either of them is easier than German markets.
But we don't know, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
I was also thinking more about Asia. Japan and countries like that, because they are seeking more and more those natural products themselves. And I know they also, visit our countries because of our nature, and they want to see that, themselves. So that's why I'm just curious. But have you thought about not maybe, targeting B2C audiences yourself, but maybe to find some distributors in the local market? Have you thought about this approach?
A bit, yes, but this usually means that you need to have a big pile of money to hire them, and then they start to work for you, right? So for that, I think more research is needed to actually see what are the fee rates and is there any kind of way to actually get the grant to support that. Because being in a product business, you most of the time have money somewhere stuck in the warehouse or even in Amazon warehouse, and then the marketing fees, right? So that's definitely an option, but needs to be made a bulletproof plan before.
But how about approaching the companies like yourself? I mean, the ones who have maybe local stores or something. I know it's hard with the bigger brands, but usually what happens when, the brand is not so big yet, they are, they're investing a lot of their own energy into growing themselves, and they are always trying to find interesting brands maybe themselves. So maybe you should think of that. The reason I'm asking is that my background is from sales and marketing, and if I were you, I would just go to, let's say, to LinkedIn and to find out like a country I want to target and have a list of, 100 names, that are potential maybe from this country, and just starting reaching out to them. Have you thought about that?
No. That's a good idea, but raises another small question in my head already. Not that I don't want to expand, I really want, but all my products are in glass, which means if you ship it, it's expensive. And now why did I choose Amazon is the reason that it goes to their warehouse and they have discounted rates because they do bulk products. But if I ship to some country, to some small store, that's crazy high rate for the kilos that even, let's say, 10 face oil bottles will make, right? And the question has been in there, let's say, over a year. Should I change the jars? But then it's always coming back to the point that dark glass, it's nature friendly, right? You can recycle it easily. Plus it protects from the sunlight and helps to stay fresh inside better. So maybe that's a good tip. I have to see what can be done there.
I'm just thinking that it will be very helpful because it helps you to do the market research in a way. I mean, if you choose a country and you just reach out to those people, through LinkedIn, it's very natural that you just reach out and tell them, hi, I'm interested in expanding more about your country, and would you have some time to, maybe have a quick Zoom meeting or just to ask about the law and about the things you want to know from this country. So it would be like two things at one time. You can do your market research and you can already see if, they are really the, a good potential for you or not. And with the sales, we all know that it's a numbers game. For example, if you just take those 100 names, maybe 10 of them are with a very good potential already for you. And you can already maybe plan next step, just to go there and to meet those people, etc. Maybe. I don't know, because I had a client, she also has the e-shop, and she is producing all the products in Thailand. Estonian girl. So this could also maybe happen for you, that you find somebody locally from Asia maybe or some other country that would even help you locally with, if we put that in the glass bottle here or there. I don't know. I'm just going crazy here.
Very good. I like it.
Have you thought about these things like that or not yet?
Well, the idea in Spain was that to actually produce there. But then there was a question about NDAs because the companies that produce no-label products, who says that they can't use the recipes? They can just swap one ingredient and say hey, now it's our one, and you can't actually prove that it's my recipe, right? So I haven't gone deep into that after this, but maybe there is a way how to protect also the recipes.
Well, I believe when you already reach out to those potential clients, let's say you do that, 100 contacts per one country, and you really dive into the country and you see who are those potential 5 to 10 names, you should, maybe have those virtual meetups. Then I'm sure that during the meetups you can already understand, who are the possible potential clients with whom you are willing to discuss these topics, right? But of course, it's the old school sales pretty much where I come from. So that's why I'm just thinking that maybe it's worth some of your time.
Of course it is. Yeah. Thank you for that.
I don't know if that works, but let's hope so. How do you choose countries you want to work with right now? I mean, you mentioned Japan and USA. Based on what?
Well, the same story like with Germany goes with Japan, because Japan has these kind of facilities, therapy facilities, for example, where you can go have your vacation in, and then you have different kind of nature and holistic therapies, which is not common in Estonia again. But the States is simply because they are so unhealthy there, and good skincare would help so much. And one of my favorite TV shows is Shark Tank, which is not seen in Estonia, but I have seen all the 15 seasons. And every time there's a skincare company, they get the deal. Simply because it's natural, oils and waxes, and it works.
Have you reached out to this TV show?
No, why?
I don't know, to collaborate.
Well, there's you always go there to get an investment. There's no other option, and you always have to give away a percentage of your business as well. So it's a pretty high level. Yes, if you don't get the deal, you get the visibility, right? And then you have to have the shipping opportunity worldwide as well, which in Mai-Liis store, it's not yet possible, right? But why do I want to reach the States is simply because I see how they are excited if something is natural. And in Estonia, no matter if it's a market or conference or whatever event, people are not that excited because we kind of live in an illusion that we are all nature people. But if I meet somebody and ask, okay, when was the last time you went to the forest? They're like, yeah, it was like last year. So you are not a nature person then, right? It's not that it's wrong or right, but we can't think that we are a nature person if we don't actually use it.
I get that. But do you think they are ready for your products? Have you done some research again?
No, because my focus here is Germany at this point. It may seem like super easy, like this country, that country, and you do it, but I'm still like a really small business. So if I do the products, then I also have workshops. I teach private classes with face yoga, and then I have time to look into one market and see what is there and how to actually law is there. But these other countries is just my wishes that maybe someday it could be, or again, if we speak in the podcast, maybe there's somebody who has the same values that I have, because I really love values and I usually collaborate people who have the same values, which is again a bit rare if we look at the sales industry and what people sell. Most of the things now, I think it's a fresh topic in Estonia as well, that people order from abroad instead of using Estonia products because we have more expensive products because we produce locally, right? So nobody knows where it actually ends up, but it's a bit scary to see how the taxes are raising and people are purchasing abroad, right?
I love how you mentioned sharing the values, when you talk about choosing a partner to collaborate with maybe. And I think it's a great way also to especially pick those partners you share values, because you also share the same target groups, right? Because the same audience will, listen to you and to them because they share the same values. I think that's great. But what do you do in German market at this point besides the Amazon sales? You mentioned webinars, face yoga, etc.
Yeah, they are currently still in Estonian market, but I'm actually expanding my options, especially with face yoga and also naturopathy, because these things I can do online. And I actually go to different podcasts like this one here. Currently, they have been US-based, but just to introduce what we can do with herbs, how we can make our skin look better, which kind of exercises to do. And there's still a lot of people who have never heard about face training, for example, which is funny to show them some exercises and they are like laughing like little kids because it's funny, right?
It is funny.
It is. And through that, I'm hoping that I can book some private sessions and expand slowly.
But steadily. It is funny in a good way. I wanted to add that because we have done that with you and it's a lot of fun, but in a good way again. But so for now you are selling in Germany, but still you are doing podcasts for US markets. But do you have a plan for the US market for now or not?
Nope, I don't have a plan, and this is why I'm always laughing that people ask me, like business people, like, what is your 5-year plan? And I'm just like thinking, well, if I would put in place my 5-year plan when I started, like after every month something changed. Mm-hmm. And now I basically do like quarter plans, maybe 6-month plans, and I won't even do a year plan because life has taught me that, nope, you can have a plan, but things will go different ways. You can sometimes get to the point that you want it, but in totally different ways. So with this podcast, it just came to me. And it started from there because during the summer, I actually gave a speech at Biohacker Summit in Helsinki. And there were a lot of health conscious people. And it started to roll from there. And I usually have this saying as well, that if something goes easily, just follow it. Because if something goes really hard, you have to push it super hard, cut it, because this is not meant to be. Okay, sometimes there can be rare occasions when life just tests you, but if you get like a second thing that is not going in your way, third thing, it's currently stating, stop. And I follow that. So some business people might be like, this is not the way to do business. But for me, it is, and it works.
But what's your goal with podcasting if you go there, if you put yourself out there? You just want more people to hear about you?
I want more people to hear. I want to get one-on-one consultations, either with naturopathy or face yoga. And maybe even some summit invitations or some public speaking engagement.
Have you heard about listennotes.com, this platform?
No.
This is a great platform. I will put that next to the show notes for the listeners, and I will share it with you later as well, of course, or sooner even. It's like a search console for podcasts. So you can search with a topic and also with the name of the podcast. You can do a little market research. What are the podcasts out there? And you can offer yourself as a guest for them.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that's a little tip. And another thing I think would be useful for you if you want, more people to hear about you and talk more about the natural products and the natural skincare you are offering and its benefits. Then there is this platform called Help a Reporter, meaning there are journalists, who are seeking for information to put out there on a daily basis. And you can also search for specific, topics from there. And you can offer your topics to the journalists all over the world, and they can help you. And you are helping them with the valuable content that you are sharing.
That sounds great.
I will put both links next to this episode, of course. But let's briefly discuss the digital strategy, the marketing, from the marketing point of view, because it can be very daunting, to be honest. So I'm just curious. Do you have some digital strategy for German market at this point that would support your Amazon sales, or maybe targeting already US market?
Well, strategy is not in place. So that's why I was also wondering, should it be the same that is in Estonia? Just like, let's say it's different Instagram account with different language, or it should be something totally different. Because in Estonia, it's basically, I am the brand, right? So even if I go to do some workshops, sometimes people are even, it's MaiWistik. They don't even remember my name, which is okay. I can live with that. But maybe in some other countries, it's different. So that's my issue here. Should I go just translating different posts in a different account? Maybe I should focus even on TikTok in Germany, or is Facebook there still relevant? Because I see in Estonia, Facebook is not that relevant anymore. Even my customers who I thought would be on Facebook are slowly moving to Instagram. And I have to be on TikTok, which I don't like, but I have to be there, right? So these are all the questions I have. But simply because I just entered the German market, these are questions I have. I haven't put it in written form. I want to see what can be done with Amazon because it's really exciting to see how easy it can be instead of doing it all yourself with different middlemen or female, right? So my idea is to actually put my products, skincare line as well, to Amazon. So far it's only the gum, right? But it's never too early to learn how to actually enter with physical products as well.
I don't have all the answers, but I know you don't like planning and strategy, but this is how we in the marketing world really make those decisions. It's really important to understand, which market we want to target, and then we should decide about the platform and all the other questions you had. Because, for example, in China, you can't, use even WhatsApp when talking to clients. They have like widget, or what was the name of this? They have other platforms they're using. So it really depends on the market, I would say. And even though we are tired of Facebook, it's still the biggest platform out there worldwide. So there are like pros and cons with everything. But I would say that you already have a great brand in Estonia. I wouldn't change that. Only if somebody from the local country tells you that it means something very bad, maybe in their language or something like that. But otherwise, I think it's, as I love to say, marketing is all about building relationships. No matter is it online or offline. It's all about, putting yourself out there, building that know, like, and trust. So maybe you should host your own podcast and talk about these topics to become this thought leader in a market. And since I have worked also outside Estonia myself and lived abroad, then I wouldn't compare what works in Estonia with other countries, because Estonia is small, it's close to our hearts, and I love Estonia, but still it's very different compared to other countries. We all know that in US and also in Europe there are bigger cities than our whole country. So if you already focus on, let's say, one area and you have a plan, then you can focus also your digital strategy on this area. And this might be much more beneficial, compared to just spreading your money out there everywhere. So, and coming back to the story where you shared about you tried to sell your products in Spain. I have lived there and I did some research myself, to understand this country and the culture and how they work. And they are even more about relationships than we are here in northern countries. So it all starts with who you are. I want to see you. I want to trust you. I really want to know that we have the same values, and then we will talk about business. So yes, it's much harder to gain that trust on these markets and to build the business without building relationships first. But I believe it really is the same in any market, because people are the same, even though the world, and especially digital world, is exponentially changing and growing all the time. But we remain the same with our needs and hopes and dreams and needs. So I think you have it all. But yes, I'm that business person who wants to see some sales, who wants to have some strategy, who wants to make sure that, okay, here's the number of people we should work through, and then we can decide what to do, and we should do some, research before going somewhere. But I know that you will find your way sooner or later, because you have a great product line. I have tried that. I know that. And I have no doubts that you will be very successful.
Thank you. I hope so too.
But please tell our listeners where they can find you online. Maybe they want to to contact with you and to ask some more, or maybe they have some great ideas to share with you.
Yes, all the ideas really welcome. But you can find me on MaiWistik.eu, and MaiWistik is then first part is my name, Mai, then W like witchcraft, And istik part with the K in the end means small herb in Estonian. So it's all really meaningful name. And .eu means still at the European market, but let's see. Maybe after 5 years I can say already international as well.
I believe you can say that very soon. And we will put the link next to this episode as well. So you are also active in LinkedIn?
Yes, I actually love LinkedIn. And that is true. It's easy to find people there. Like you said, make 100 lists and go through them. I haven't thought about it with products, but I have been actually targeting HR people just to get these workshops in the companies, because in Estonia it's super trendy to have health weeks or summer days. So I have done quite many of these, and I love these as well because people are so open to learn new things there. So yeah, LinkedIn is definitely a good place.
I love that. I hope people will connect with you there. And of course, feel free to comment this episode here with your ideas and thoughts, so that it would be very helpful for Mai-Liis, I know. And a few more names for you, because I did some homework, scrolled through my own LinkedIn connections, and there's Catherine Reed, also a member of our community, and she's helping also companies, expand internationally, and she has worked with Asian countries a lot. So make sure to have a chat with her. And then there's Anneli Andersen in LinkedIn, who helps to enter Norway, for example. So feel free to chat with her. And Leila Haugas, who is helping companies worldwide with exporting. So we have some names and some suggestions for you.
Super good. Thank you.
Love it. So last but not least, we usually love to inspire our listeners with some playlists from Spotify, and we also have the Pinterest board with the quotes. So what's the song that you would want to put out there for our podcast listeners?
Well, the song is Mark Anthony, Mi Vir Mi Vida. I hope I said it correctly, but I love that song. Every time I need motivation, or I need to do a workshop or go to present something, this is my go-to song. Makes good mood, and the lyrics are good as well.
I love Mark Anthony. Have you thought about what does it mean?
Yes.
So it means look at my life or something like that, I think.
My life, my choices, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it has a deep meaning as well. It's a great song. Thanks. And what about the quote? Please inspire us.
The quote comes from Seneca, because I so agree with that quote, and I have been for ages. This has been my favorite quote. It basically means that luck doesn't exist. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So you can create your own luck, which actually is good combined with the song.
I love that. And did you hear yourself? Preparation needs to meet with opportunity. So we are coming back to the planning and preparation part.
Oh yeah, but I think maybe you understood it a bit wrong, because I don't mean that I don't plan. I just don't do a lot of Excels and these sheets. I plan in my head a lot. And some people can say it's planning, some can say it's like visioning, whichever the word it is. I do plan, just maybe not that hardcore as some other people would like, or maybe that you would like, right?
No, I know that you are doing a great job, because I have seen the way you work, and I really support you. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. Thank you for that.
And to all our listeners, if you have any ideas or thoughts or questions to Mai-Liis, make sure to connect with her over LinkedIn. She's very active there. Or maybe you can already connect her with a certain person in those markets we chatted today. So, and I hope to see you soon again here. We're listening to our podcast. Make sure to subscribe, and we all know sharing is caring. So feel free to share this episode to anyone. And is there anything, Mai-Liis, that I didn't ask from you today and you wanted to discuss?
No, I think all the topics were covered and a lot of good tips came out of it. So I'm more than happy.
Great. Then I am happy as well. So thank you once again for listening and for being here with us today. And take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.